Previously on Baahubali. So we watched the first one.
Yes.
It's incredibly intense. The second one, Baahubali, the conclusion, is very different. Alonso, tell us about it.
It is. Well, first of all, it's like 75% flashback. So, we'll go with that. So yeah, it is the sort of lengthy explanation of how we got here. How did we get to the woman and the river and the baby and the whole thing? And so it comes down to the sort of palace intrigue squabbles between Baahubali, who has been chosen to take the throne, and Balaladeva, who is conspiring with the help of his father with the creepy mustache. And so we see Baahubali going out to find a bride, and then of course when Balaladeva finds out about this, he conspires to get her first, and all of the sort of back and forth confusion about that, and Baahubali pretending to be an inept dolt, but actually of course being the best of everything. There's the jewels, and then there's the refusal, and then there's the delivery, and the complicated. It all gets it's very soapy in a way, but it's also very like a lot of palace intrigue. Ultimately, what happens is that, of course, Baahubali is first denied the throne, and then later set up to look like he was trying to murder Baladeva. So he is put to death by the Queen Mother, like, condemns him, and we find out why. The devoted slave Katapa killed him. All of which then takes us to back where we left off, which is Baahubali Jr. being like, all right, fuck that guy. Gonna get my kingdom back.
This is so different. First of all, I gotta say, SS Rajamouli, to make Baahubali the first one, have it be like the highest grossing film, I think, ever in India at that point. And then have to continue that story, but to take a totally different tonal approach with part two, I think is so freaking ballsy, right? It'd be like making The Empire Strikes Back as a farce, right? A wacky French farce compared to the original Star Wars.
Well, I was thinking of this more as Godfather and Godfather 2 in terms of, like, you have the first story that's sort of nestled between the what happened before and what happened after,
That's true, because it is all a flashback. That is true. And maybe that was part of the inspiration. But just to take that leap and to assume, okay, people love this first one, and I'm going to give them that stuff. And you certainly need to have seen that first one to understand the conclusion, but to make it funny and goofy. And it's like a farce, and it's like a telenovela. I mean, it's so over the top in its humor. It's so knowing. It's so self-aware with, like, the reaction shots and the music.
Yes.
And it's everyone is playing it up to the hill and having a really good time with it in a way that is so different from the very traditional kind of war epic that Baahubali, the beginning, was. Eventually, you do get these giant, insane action pieces. I liked at the very, very end when they all kind of like wrapped together like they're a little bracelet of people with their shields,
catapulting the shield gun. That was
and then
amazing.
They get flung over the wall. I mean, everything in here is so insane. All of the fight sequences, all the stuff with the animal, and they do specify which animals were not actually harmed. Thank you for that. That was very helpful. The oxen, whoever, like the flaming cattle,
the oxen
horns.
Of fire. Yeah, wow. when he like throws the sword into one guy who then like falls backwards and skewers 2 or 3 more people like a kebab. That was amazing. There's just a lot that's really just breathtaking in this. I kept thinking, is it weird that I like the sequel better? And my friend David, who is really knows these films well, was like, oh no, this is absolutely the better of the 2 films. He also said that we should keep in mind that, and he watches a lot of these films, he says that RRR and the 2 Baahubali films are among the tamer ones.
Oh, from this director or from this
in
genre?
general, from this genre. So like, just we get ready. If we the deeper we dig, the wackier it's going to get. Apparently,
I'm so excited. Yeah, I liked part 2 better as well, and just because it was such a surprise, and it so skillfully weaves in the mythology of what came before, but is so much its own thing. I mean, it definitely has some pieces where like, okay, this is the farce part, and this is like the Shakespearean palace intrigue part with everyone screwing over everybody else. And I love all the stuff with the Queen Mother and Devasena, and how she takes no shit from this woman that everybody respects and fears. Like,
yeah, no, the women are great in this. I think, I mean, it's one thing like, oh, they have agency, but no, like they actually have power. Like they really, you know, like steer a lot of the plot, and you know, Devasena's revenge is just so delicious by the end of the movie that, you know, she gets to, you know, do her uninterrupted walk thanks to the head of the statue taking the place of the burning bridge, and then finally like she's the one who gets to deliver the death blow to this asshole who has destroyed her life, you know, rather than Baahubali, you know. So like, yeah, I think a lot of that stuff is really cool. I mean, you know, this is, as is so much of literature, this kind of, you know, imperialist fantasy of like, oh, the good king will save us and we'll all be treated well, you know, like, because there's definitely like, you have your teeming masses, you know, who like are clearly laborers, and then you have the people living in the beautiful golden palace eating, you know, like grapes off of platters or whatever. But you know, that's just how we tell stories on this planet. And you know, this is so exciting. He had to make these movies to get to RRR. But you know, and it really kind of makes me wish that, like, because having just come out of Thor: Love and Thunder, which we'll talk about later, this, or have talked about, I don't know, whenever this thing drops. You know, I almost kind of wish that if movies are going to be so CG heavy right now, and they're already going to be playing fast and loose with physics, go buck wild. Like, why not? What's stopping you? You know, like, what are we tethering ourselves to? Because so much American CG I find so like enervating after a while. It's like, if you can do or create or visualize anything imaginable, then why is this exciting anymore? Like, what is it that's thrilling about it? What's going to make my jaw drop? This is making my jaw drop.
Right. Why shouldn't it be like running across the backs of oxen with flaming horns, you know, up a hill?
Right. You know, sliding down a giant wooden door as it's falling down, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I had so much fun, and I laughed my ass off. And the tonal swings in theory shouldn't work, and they shouldn't make sense, but it all feels of a piece of like, this is a wild ride, and we're going to go with it wherever it takes us. And physics be damned and logic be damned. And yet you do truly come to care about Baahubali getting back and like taking his rightful place, you know, as the son of Baahubali, and it's his kingdom, and the I guess it's his uncle at that point,
right?
Baahubali's brother. Like, his facial hair gets increasingly sinister as the movie goes along, and then I like when like he takes off his armor, like he just like pops off his body, and like the back part pops off, and he like cracks his back, and it's just like, it's so crazy, it's so over the top and so fun and so inventive, and it just makes you feel like anything is possible. So let us know what you thought, and for all you guys who said you've got to watch the Baahubali movies, thank you so much for that, because we are thankful to have experienced all of this, and we'll definitely get through a lot more of the suggestions you have passed along. So thank you for all of that.